This is video 3 in the series for helping Ken Stout, or trying to help Ken Stout fix his Windows updates. I don't know how many videos will be in this series, and I'm checking now to see if the audio is coming through, so I just muted that. Live stream is actually live. Today is July 18th, 2022 on a Monday. I'm going to switch over here to my Microsoft OneNote collection of information about Ken's situation. Here's the original update that he's trying to install, and then here's the error message that comes up. This error message number, I did not even try to Google search it because it's a very generic number. It ends with 3 zeros or 4 zeros. No, that's 3. And those are typically very uninformative error messages. And if Microsoft did have a specific error message that is helpful, well, then chances are they would have incorporated that into Windows Update and automatically fixed it. So those are usually not very helpful. So if they have a specific number, I'll go look them up, and it kind of maybe points me into a direction, but I don't rely on it too much. So then in yesterday's email, he says, this is what's done so far and still not working. Actually, I included that in yesterday's video, didn't I? Yes, I did. And then I produced a video, a live stream, with some instructions to him, and then he replied with an email. I believe I have everything you asked for. So he sent me some screenshots. These were the only optional updates that he had to do, so there was no BIOS update here, but I would still want those updates to be installed. Now, the reason why I want to install those updates is to prove that Windows Update is not broken, that Windows Update works. If it can install the optional updates, and that tells us it is still functional. The likelihood that any of these are what's blocking the cumulative update from installing is not real likely. Oh, you know what? Let's go back up here and point out something, that this update that's failing, it is the July cumulative update. So that was issued Tuesday of last week, and that's the KB number for that. We will be going back and looking at that number more closely. So here's those optional updates. Then going further, I asked him for a picture of the uninstall and update screen, and I wanted to see what updates have been installed. So there's some servicing stacks that were installed. Servicing stacks are specifically for the partially for the purpose of the Windows Update engine, or the software that performs updates. So this implies that his servicing stacks were updated recently, although in this case I don't really think that that is much of an issue, and I'll explain why in a little bit when we get to some other things here. Here's driver updates history. So there was a July 7th driver update that was installed successfully, and then we jump all the way to March before we see another update there. And then we get to the quality updates, and this is the big guns that I wanted to see, because his last cumulative update was April. So he hasn't received any of the monthly cumulative updates since April. So his Windows Update has been broken for a while. And because of that, the system restore was probably not going to be helpful. And he probably perhaps wasn't aware that his updates were broken for that long. And I sent an email back to him. I'm not sure I was clear enough. Have you installed the optional updates? He sent me the pictures, but didn't say that he actually installed them. And did they work after restarting the computer? If yes, did you get the same error message or a different one when trying to install the cumulative update? If you have not yet done that, go ahead and reply with the results. So then he replied with that. Sorry, I forgot to let you know. I did do all of that and have same results. I sent the optional updates so you see what they were. And that was useful to show me that they were working. Additionally, I have deleted that distribution folder you mentioned as well. I was surprised about that because apparently that was done some time ago. I don't think he did that just since the last video. And Just for Grins did a restore back to the 10th of July. So that's what he did a system restore back to. I wouldn't think that would help because it wasn't far enough back to be really helping. The Zoomies seem to think that the solution is going to be the old Nuke and Pave. Now, if you're not aware of it, the Zoomies are not some kind of zombie monsters from a horror movie. It's the people on the Zoom session with Ken during the Ken Stout live show. So let's see, the system restore. I want to point out that when doing system restore, I'm going to switch over here to my system restore screen. Where do I have it? Up to updates. So I thought I had it open. No, I don't see it. So I'll just hit the Windows key and type system restore and click on create a restore point. I'm not actually trying to create one right now, but when you go to system restore and say that you want to restore, in my case, there's only one restore point. That's not very helpful. I'd like to see more restore points. On some computers, I've seen even a link to show more restore points. If the computer has enough space on the drive to restore more, to keep more restore points, you may be able to go back a long time. Now, if he could go back 3 months in time to that March, was it? And do a system restore to that point, maybe the cumulative updates are going to work, but that has a cost to it because perhaps some other program updates that he's done between those dates are now going to be broken. So that's really too far to go back. But I'd like to have more than one for myself. So when I come back here to this system properties for the system restore, I'm going to click on the C drive here and then click configure. And I see that I'm currently using 8.68 gigabytes and the amount of space that I have reserved for system restore is 10 gigabytes. So I'd like to move that up a little bit for me because I'd like to have more. I'm going to go ahead and give it 30 gigabytes of space so that I can go back a little further in time if I want to do system restore. Now I have full image backups every day, so I also have that level of protection. But just in case other people are interested in doing that. Now let's get on to what I think is going to be the next step, and that's to do a manual installation of that update that Ken is trying to do. So I'm going to press the Windows key and type update settings. That's my favorite way to get to the update screen. And I'm going to click here to view update history and then come over here to the cumulative update Windows 10 21H2. This is the exact same KB number that Ken is having a problem with, 5015807. I'm going to come over here to prove that in his original screenshot, 5015807. So when Ken comes to the screen to do updates, he's going to have that up there as an update waiting to run, but it's clickable. So Ken, I want you to click on that, and that's going to take you to this document that tells about that update. Then scroll down almost all the way to the bottom where you get to this section about install this update. In here, there's a link for Microsoft Update Catalog. Click on that. It's going to take you to this update in the catalog. So here you have to pick which one of these you want to do. I'm going to help you pick the right one. What we know about your computer is that it is a x64 computer. It is not x86. It's not ARM. So what we're going to do to find it, there's an example of x64. So we're going to come up here and click right at the end of that search term up there and put a space bar and then x64. And then either click search or press the enter key. And that's going to limit the number of choices. And then we know also that your computer currently has 21H2 installed. So I'm going to prove that by coming back here and show that the cumulative update that's waiting to install on your computer is for 21H2. It says it right there. So we're going to add that to the search term. We're going to say 21H2 and then click search. And then that brings us down to 2 choices. And it's cumulative update for Windows. This is exactly the wording of the update that it shows on your screen. This one is dynamic cumulative update, which has to do with being able to pick specific items that you want to have updated. I've never actually used that. I'm a little curious about exploring with it. But anyway, what you'll do here, Ken, is we'll download that. Now, before we do that, I'm going to click into here and show a little more information about what's available in the update catalog. Is if we come over here to the package details, this is often very useful. This update replaces the following updates, the prior updates. And we see that it replaces an April update. Wow, that's kind of a long time ago, but notice these are not in date order, which has always struck me as kind of weird. But these cumulative updates happen every month. So this one is going to replace the June version. This one you're trying to install right now is the July version. And it's interesting. Yeah, there's May. Okay, so whoops, that just scrolled a whole bunch on me. But they're all in there. They're just not in order. Sometimes you might find when you're trying to install a particular update that the update has been replaced by a subsequent update. Usually Windows Update should automatically catch that. But another possibility as a way to go is to try installing one of these older ones. I don't want to go down that road on Ken's computer because I think his computer has already tried and failed to install those updates. I'm going to close this window. So then, Ken, what you do is come over here to download, and that's going to give you this screen for downloading it. We'll click on that, and it is downloading it. Now, sometimes when you click here, there'll be 2 items to install. If there are, one of those items is a prerequisite, and it's much shorter and quicker. So you do want to do that one first, and then do this second one. Now, that's the order of installation. You can download them at the same, well, you can download them before actually installing either of them, but you want to install the smaller one first. So this is almost done here, and when it's done, you just go click on it to start the installation of that. And then here, well, here's the link here, right here for open file. You click on that, and that's going to go through a manual installation of that update. Now, I'm not going to keep this live stream going long enough to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it there. It's pretty straightforward in my recollection. When you go through that, I think it'll be fine. So we're going to end this right there. That's the next thing I'd like you to do, Ken. And then after that, I think the next thing is probably going to be to do a upgrade installation, which doesn't lose any programs or data. It just reinstalls Windows on top of the existing installation. All your programs, all your settings, all your data are just fine. And in order to do that, I think I'm going to do that as a recorded video because I want to actually go through it and be able to include clips of it so that you have an idea of what to expect as you go through it. Because there are some stages of it that you might feel a little nervous about. So that's it for this stream. It appears to me that there's only one person, Dennis, watching in chat. I'll do a refresh there and see if that changes. Oh, there's a bunch more people. Yeah, because I started that, I pulled up that screen before I started going live. So I'll look through those later. That's going to be the end of this. Here's my email address if you want to send a technical question that you think might be good content for me to do a video on or a live stream. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.